So yes, most definitely, yen's getting weaker, gold's getting weaker, money is leaving the safe havens and flowing into alternatives. I mean, if we take a look at 4 hours, look how strong that's been all day. I mean, yeah, this is kind of flag that's been built here, and then it's just popped to the upside. Could be a big move. I saw here 33.1 to 34. Could be another 100 pips to the upside for this. So yeah, it's looking good. Do like the yen crosses. You know, at least they move. Again though, I was expecting to see this kind of retest. It's like the same as Euro yen. I was expecting to see this test. Euro Aussie is probably coming down. Yeah, so remember how we looked at this earlier? We've got the break of the channel, the retest. Now it's broken down, rejected the CMAs. If we get close below here, then should be a nice move to the downside. Yeah, I mean, I would prefer to see the test of the 20 EMA, but it might not come. So you know, we have to go with what we see. But yeah, back to that once again. I mean, it would have been nice to see the test of it, but I think overnight we'll see some kind of a pullback. Maybe on a 30 minutes. Maybe we'll get a 30-minute pullback, which could become a support there. So look further back. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of area support there. 74.4 could become a nice area to go along from. Certainly worth a try, but yeah, I expect to see some kind of a pullback. Just rocketed today. Well, they rocketed. It's moved 50 pips, but still a nice big volume candle. Yeah, all these pounds, I was expecting to see them pull back more to the daily 20s. Look at the rest of the Aussies looking. So this, I've not got much interest there. I'll probably pull up to the daily 20, but not much interest about it. Aussie dollar's done well. Retested the 50. This is what we want to see. Could very likely be a leg up to here. So you know, it's looking good for the Aussie dollar, which should be playing with this, you know, gold and Aussie dollar tends to look very similar, but it seems to be separated at the moment. But it should be it should continue to the upside. This Euro Aussie should be heading down to here. Nice to get 61 dead. That's 100 pips. Let's see tomorrow. I think if tomorrow we see on the in the morning this continuing to the downside, definitely worth looking at the low time frames for that short. And you've had the 4-hour break retest, confirmation continuation, so we will see how it plays out. Your NCD's just broken back up. It's a bit easy. So all the pounds looking the same as I mentioned. I mean, this now there's come engulfed the last candle. We'll probably just see continuation to the upside. So Might get a pullback here to these. This is what we want. If we look at that pound yen, it's going to be showing a similar story. No, I wouldn't really call it a flag. It looks like it, but I wouldn't really. It's just a pullback, you know. I don't see that that's symmetrical. You can't go from there to there. Yeah, it's not perfect, but I mean, yeah. But so this could just be heading to. It could have just been the pullback from here to there, rather than, you know, you should see 3 touches before push to the upside if it is a real flag. You know, just like gold though, you know, we've seen that breakout and then sort of break back in. Is, you know, we'd want to wait for the break and retest. There'll be no point entering right now if you're trading this as a flag. Wait for the break, retest, and then continuation, and it should go as high as the previous leg. So take that right there. Should be 1.35, near enough for gold, for the pound dollar. So let's see if cable's got it in it. But yeah, I'm not sure I read that as a flag, more just a channel. We'll see how if it does break. You know, we've had this nice pullback to the 4-hour 50. Be a nice, you know, a nice complete breakout, nice opportunity for that long. So let's see if it does play out. As I say, my concerns are just with the Brexit shenanigans. You know, all of them are the same. I mean, some are more developed than others. This looks like a better two. We've had the sort of 3 touches, 2 really, quite close together, but it's retested that 4-hour 50 and decided to turn around from there. So yeah, be more inclined to just say it's going to continue and look for the long entries. As I say, I'm going to wait for those pullbacks, showing the direction. So they'd pull back here to this sort of 20 zone. It might be end up being a little bit higher. Might be around here or something, because the EMA is going to move. But that gives us the good opportunity to the upside. So we'll see what that brings. Let's take a look at the dollars. 4 hours. Dollar yen just continued up. Much as I was bearish on this, and I'm glad I managed to come out of that trade with a profit earlier in the week. You know, we could just be looking at the pushing to the upside. It's the China trade talks that have given it this momentum. And we've broken above. You know, you can look for the retest tomorrow. We'll probably get a spike down 108.753 in continuation. It's most likely. Yeah. most likely scenario. Okay, just still thinking. So dollar chuff, we actually pushed up past that channel. Interesting. That could be a turnaround candle, but as I mentioned earlier, because I was looking at this and seeing it breaking down and continued, more inclined to let it break down and retest these sort of AMAs as resistance before looking at shorts again. But I'll leave the chart work there. $2 chuff. Yeah, I mean, personally, I pretty much just focus on gold indices and the yen crosses, just because they get the momentum, they do tend to move better. So, I mean, yeah, I would perhaps just stick to those. You know, currencies are generally easier to read for most people, so it's probably a good idea to focus efforts and time on the yen crosses, or you know, some people like New Zealand dollars because they have to get some movement in. But yeah, I tend to like the yen crosses, gold and indices. So I would just look at all of those. So if we broke those down into a list, it would be far smaller. I just like to look at the other currencies and the other crosses because it gives you a good indication. What else might be happening, other influences we've got to think about. Seeing dollar yen, would have been really nice to get that daily 50 retest there. That would be a really nice re-entry. But still breaking back above this one now. If we do get a bit of a move to the upside, I would most definitely be looking for a long from the 1 hour 50. Yeah. So we've got to break above this 4 hour 20 and pull back to it essentially. Definitely want to keep an eye on. Caddy just away. That NZD does some wild moves. Chuff yen, that's now broken above there, so could be looking at a nice move to 110 here for chuff yen. We'll stick that as a green one because we'll see what happens later on in the morning. This looks good. Best looking to at the moment between dollar and chuff yen. The 1 hour has sort of pulled back to the 200, but we're getting these crosses up now, so we may see a push to this 109.6 area, because as you can see we've got some resistance, support, resistance. I bet if we look further back in time, there's more of it there. Yeah, come look on the daily. The daily 200 to compete with there, but yeah, I mean that. The 9.6 you can see across here where we are now, you know, there's found support, resistance, didn't quite touch that daily 20, but so far this just looks like a pullback for continuation, which could be a really strong move to the upside. So we'll see. I'm marking that as green. See what we get. Not the cleanest, but nonetheless gives us an idea of an area to break out on the retest. So that looks good though. Then back to the metals, so we'll go back at 92. Yeah, interesting move. You know, it's pretty much recovered everything from the last few days. But we've still not broken this lower trend line. In fact, we've broken out above. There's a lot of buying going on, so yeah, we'll see if we get another push to the upside. I wonder if we can create a new list. Then you can always fill by just the just the greens, but in fact, you know, that's what I should do. Let's do it that way, rather than having to go through all of those. I can always just highlight the colours of most interested ones. That's green. Yeah, makes it simpler. And then we can filter just by the green list. Voila. Then we've got the yens, we've got the indices, gold, and that's it. Simpler list. Yeah, interesting to see what happens here. You know, we do get a break below, and I'm looking a short on the re-entries. And take that down to 1480. But yeah, instinct. I mean, we've gone from these levels up to 1520 in no time. Could do so again. So we'll see. We stopped dead at 1490, so see how it plays out. So are you going to be making any other watch lists, guys, or anything else you're going to look at ready for tomorrow? Or just the pound yen mentioned earlier. Just remember, whenever you've got any watch lists, just make sure it's playing to its strength. You know, I mean, you take a look at all these minus gold, the dollar, strangely, have all had green days, so likelihood is they will continue tomorrow. Gold really would we look at a lower time frame in the morning should probably give us indication of more downside because of today, but nothing fails to amaze me, so I'm still going to look for the right entries. The pound yen is they're sort of stalling around this level, so be good to see a pullback. finally get Brexit done, we might be back up at this 144 levels, but come on, load up. So you're talking about as a resistance, you mean across the top here? You mean like that? Yeah, I mean, potentially, this is what I was sort of touching base on. Patterns just, I don't know, I've never really trusted a pattern because it's only good at looking at it after. At that time, like right now, it's just like gold. I mean, look at gold, that was a perfect, channel. It's broken out above, broke back in. I mean, it just completely defies the whole point of the pattern. The thing that I've always had to think about with patterns is actually how do you trade them? So the risk is that yes, you're going to have a look for a short now. You're going to put your stop up here and hope it breaks back down to the bottom of the pattern. So let's just map that out. I hope that it's going to hold up something. This perhaps. Let's do that. So, something like that. Because it's not broken, you're saying that you're basically expecting to come all the way back down here, which is totally possible, especially with all the Brexit shenanigans. But then it's how you trade it. So you've got the 20 above the 50 on 1 hour, which says the price is bullish. So why would you short when price action is telling you it's bullish? You look on the higher time frames, it's rejected the 4 hour 50 and could be making its way higher. The 20 is above the 50. And the daily has been a majorly bullish day and expect that to continue tomorrow. But if you're trading on a pattern, you would be saying right now you've got to take this short, which totally contradicts all of the time frames. Which is why I've just never been able to get my sort of head around it. I like to use them as confirmation. So, for example, how it is now, my bias is bullish. So, if I get a test at the bottom, I'll look for buys. And if I get a break and retest up here, it gives me confirmation to buy. But it depends how you trade them. I mean, looking at that, what would your plan be to trade? How would you trade that right now? Of the line to the upside, you mean up here? Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. I think I'd say that is how I would. That's the only way I would trade it. As I say, I'd be looking at the buys. So it would definitely be. That is what I would be looking at, because of all the other time frames are telling me to look for longs, and even this time frame. So yeah, but like I say, I mean, just be wary of how it can look, because I know some people will look at that and say that's in a down channel. It's got to be coming down, but just psychologically for me, I just because all the other time frames telling me it's bullish, I wouldn't want to be shorting in an uptrend, much as this might just be a pullback or whatever. So it's always just good to trade what you see. Yeah, that is the way I would trade it if I were trading a pattern. But that's why, I like to use the EMAs, because time after time we look rejected there, bounced up, haven't seen rejection yet, but a lot of the times you get movements, but not rejection, but rejections, rejection. You can look at an EMA and say, do you know what? There is rejections from those areas, and it makes sense to think actually it's worth doing, and that's where I would like to trade from. So to me it just makes a little bit more sense. But granted, patterns can be useful to help identify trends, etc. As long as everything's lining up. That's why I prefer the ones that are like a flag or a wedge, because it really just helps you visualize and see that price action is really getting squeezed, and visually like that, I certainly feel that helps. But yeah, that's how I see it. Let's have a quick run through. So is there anything else you want to talk about regards to your own tradings? Anything that we didn't get a chance to touch on before which can help? Any sense? What would benefit you the most to think of a plan of action into tomorrow's trading day? Yeah, which is good. I mean, I'd say your analysis is getting good, and definitely looking at the right things. What can I empower you with, which is gonna, would help you? Okay. Well, let's just do an exercise of that. I mean, let's take something different. Let's just, because we're always looking at these, let's take something completely fresh. So that oil. We very rarely look at oil. So let's have a look at oil. So it doesn't matter what sort of time frame you start with, depending on how you want to trade. And I know that we sort of do trade a similar way. I like to go through it all. I mean, you look at it on a monthly basis, you get an idea what happened last month, what's happening this month. I mean, and this candle here, this is exactly why I thought today's gold bonds would be bullish, because look what's happened here is most of the time these wicks get filled. So looking at this on the monthly, I'm thinking that this is gonna get filled. But overall, being an uptrend, had a pullback, could be looking to make a new lower low shortly. If it does, it confirms the change in direction there. Weekly is sort of hit and rejecting this weekly 20. But how strong is it? Is it normally respected? Yeah, I'd say it is. I'd say the EMAs are respected with oil. Let's say at the moment, it's only Monday, could look to be pulling back before pushing up. without seeing this week close, we can't say that it's rejected at weekly 20. So this way, as we break down to the lower time frames, we will see more. Yeah, I mean, today looks like it's done a bit of a pullback, but nothing major. It's very likely it could be touching up to the 200 EMA there. So just take note of what we're sort of looking at here. We've looked at the monthly, the weekly, the daily, and breaking it down, making sure we're seeing the same things. Now, what I'm seeing here on the 4 hour is, as much as the other shows just constantly has been sort of up and down, this to me looks like we're sort of bottomed out somewhat. You know, we can see a lot of price action down here. We've got sort of highs, which are at gap. This is when the Aramco was attacked. And you know, it's pushed back above the 200, the 20's above the 200 and the 50, and it's rejected that 20, and now looks to be pushing back to the upside. I'd say that is looking bullish. No, I'd say that is definitely looking good to the upside. So you know, and let's look even deeper at it. Let's make sure we're keeping the right bias. Yeah, so the 1 hour is sort of retesting that 50 EMA. Got some spikes, got some rejections. So we've done the 4 hour, the 1 hour, and now on a 30 minute. The 30 minutes is below, so it could be testing here and looking to break to the downside. So as we get into the lower time frames, we're seeing that actually this may be looking to be pulling back a bit more. Now this is where, when it comes to analysis, you've got to make sure that everything is lining up. Now make sure you're confident with the trades you're going to take, and the higher time frames tend to prevail more than the smaller. So right now it looks like we're breaking back above the 50 and could be pushing back to the upside, but the 20's below the 50. So let's have a look back on that 4 hour. So I would be happy here looking at this, thinking, do you know what? I think I've got sort of long confirmation here. This candle's, you know, it's not been live long. This could be pushing up higher. So I'm looking for that trade on the 5 minutes. Where's my entry going to be? Well, do you know what? For that extra confirmation, I want to see it push above 200 and retest and continue. It may even push away up here, and by that time the 20 and the 50 sort of moved upwards, and then you get the retest on the 20, because it may hit this 200 and then carry on to the downside. And that's always the potential worry, and why we do need to make sure that we've got the you know, everything aligned. Like I say, at that point, the 4 hour, you know that it's going to be looking really bullish because it already is. 1 hour's going to be looking bullish. I mean, that's going to put it somewhere near the 20. So that break above puts us back above that 20. Actually, yes, much as the lower time frames are looking like it's been put into the downside, if we get that push to the upside here and retest, that's giving me my long entry. So does that all make sense? If I've gone too quick at all there, do feel free to ask questions as I'm sort of going through. And we've used all the time frames, and then we've had mixed feelings, and so then we've gone back over a couple of time frames to reconfirm. Yeah, by all means, you know, watch it back over. You know, just let it soak in. There's no right or wrong, but there is riskier and risk-averse ways of trading it, and so that's why I say better off waiting for that push above than a pullback to confirm. Because if it does push back above there, you know, take a look at that 4 hour. It's going to look like it's going to continue pushing to the upside. You know, we've rejected the 20, moving up nicely. You know, no real reason to sort of think otherwise. The daily, yes, it's been a bearish day, moved to the upside and reversed a bit, but it hasn't closed below, and we've actually retraced from these prices, which, you know, there's some resistance there, could be turn support. We've already tested the 50, so we could just see a little bit of a pullback today before more movement to the upside. So that's what I say. You've got to, especially because we're looking on the quicker trades. We definitely want to see, you know, be focused on the lower time frames. As much as we want to have the daily, we want to be moving in the same direction. You know, it's late in the day now, so don't expect too much to happen here. But if you imagine what that daily is going to look like, if it does suddenly push up more, or tomorrow, it's just going to engulf sort of yesterday's candle. So, or being today's candle, is what I meant. But yeah, just bear that in mind, and use your tools, which is your charts, your analysis, to your advantage. That's the key. But yeah, hopefully you can see how that would be how we broke this down and looked for a potential trade. So yeah, let's have a look on gold, because there's been a bit of action over there. Nearly back to the downside. I may look to take an entry here in a moment. So I'm going to get my fingers at the ready, because there we go. Okay, I mean, I've just done 20 pip stop, so 88. Let's hope so it doesn't take us out, but could do. It is still holding the bottom of that channel, so that's what I'm playing to the strength of. Okay. They're breaking. You know what? I won't even let it hit the stop if we do get this little push, and then retest. I'll just exit it. Let's see. Right. That's what we wanted. How many tests we got? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what we wanted. We've got 10 pips yet with the spread. It's look, 7. Let's see. Get rid of this now, because the price action got squeezed, alright, but squeezed to the downside. So hindsight's a wonderful thing. This is what I tell you about patterns. Yes, it did get squeezed to one side, So we was playing the bullish factor and looking for the upside move. It just didn't come. You know, it's not till after you can look at that and say, oh, well, that's obvious because it got squeezed and it comes to the downside. Well, it's never obvious at that time because you can't see all of this. And this is where experience is what becomes your edge. Let's see if we get a push to the upside and a bit of relief. Or potentially not. So while that's doing its thing, any other questions or anything else you want to run through? Yeah, good stuff. Well, I should be around Friday as well, so up to you, but it may be worth getting another session in on Friday. We'll count today as the first, but we can use them as you like. But yeah, I would likely be on the charts Friday for that. Be interesting to see. As I say, I think that we'll get the rate cut in the US. It should be good for gold. Whether it is or it isn't, we will see. I think we'll probably get this movement today, and maybe the rest of the week we'll get the movements to the upside in anticipation. But there's just so much news we've got to look out for. I mean, tomorrow, Aussie dollar, and so tomorrow, if this consumer confidence is less than expected, that's going to start the gold rush. Yeah, perfect. Good stuff, and then we can always review them. All this data we've got on Aussie. Now Wednesday's going to be good. ADP, that always gives us an idea. So they're expecting it to be less. So if it's on target, sort of priced in. If it's less than that, then expect some major movement to the downside for dollar. Yeah, and then we've got the FOMC statement stuff later on Wednesday, so it'd be interesting to get involved in that. Come on, the gold. Push to the upside. Well, let's see how it prevails, and we'll hopefully get back on then.